Good day, dear learners. I welcome you again in this new session in which I'll be talking about Indian festivals. So, here in this particular session, I'll be talking about festivals at the national, regional, and religious festivals. So, the overview of this session, in which I'll be explaining the historical and the cultural roots of the major Indian festival, and with time you'll be able to understand the cultural, social, and spiritual significance of Indian festivals, and classify the festivals as national, regional, and religious. And lastly, you'll be able to compare and contrast what are the different types of festivals based on the origin, purpose, and regional significance. So let's get started. So the Festival of India. Festival of India, they has a very dramatic effect of allowing travelers to gain better insight and a better perspective of one's own identity by deeply discovering and experiencing another culture, right? And you cannot imagine a life without celebration, a life without festival. So India's festivals always revolve around celebrating life, and things like, even the mundane routine had some kind of a celebratory effect. The harvest season, the seasonal change, the anniversary of deities, the mythological stories are as old as the Indus civilization. So, a key to appreciating the richness of India's festival is that the Hindus, they worship an array of thousands of gods and goddesses, while Buddha, they refuse the existence of God itself. Yet there is a vibrant subcontinent in which both faiths are being practiced and celebrated wholeheartedly, with along with other religions like Islam, Sikhism, Christianity, Jainism, and so on. So if you look at the historical origin, how did the origination of Indian festival take place? So even in the Vedic period, it laid foundation of many festivals, which was rooted in the agrarian cycle, the agricultural cycle, the seasonal changes, and the deities worshipped in the Vedic text. So as Hinduism evolved during the classical period, we did find that the Puranas, the ancient Hindu text, played a significant role in shaping festivals and introducing new deities and mythological narratives. So we have festivals like Diwalis and Holis, which were formalized during that particular period and which linked to an epic tale or a worship of various god and goddesses. Then came the medieval period, right? Now, this particular medieval period saw the rise of various regional kingdoms and influence of Islamic culture on Indian society. So when the Mughal Empire came with its grandeur and with its patronage of arts and culture, it contributed to the diversity of Indian festivals. So festivals such as Eid, which celebrates the Islamic faith, also became very prominent in region with significant Muslim population. Then came the colonial period, which introduced significant changes as well, like the British rule imposed a lot of regulation and a lot of restriction on public festival celebration. So despite that, this era saw the revival of reformation of festivals, right? Like we have Tilak, who popularized Ganesh Chaturthi as a means to foster nationalist sentiments and resistance as well, right? So this period also brought Western influences. The colonial period, the celebrations like Christmas and New York also became a celebration, a unique celebration in the urban cultural landscape. Then looking at the contemporary Indian festival and the whole concept of globalization and modernity, we do find that when technology, the innovation which was driven by technology, with social media, with digital platform, also boost up the participation of the people in the celebration of their festivals, right? So now this modern celebration is also infusing the traditional ritual with contemporary elements like the high-tech display and the international performances and so on. Furthermore, we are also being careful that we use eco-friendly practices, right? Diwali is just around the corner and we want to use the crackers to celebrate, but at the same time, it should be eco-friendly. So including sustainable material, waste reduction, and reflecting about the whole environmental condition is also another, you can say, the change that has brought about in the contemporary Indian festival. So the rich tapestry of Indian festival, it is shaped by various historical period and it has continuously influenced the vibrant expression of the country's diverse heritage. Now, the multifaceted significance of festival. So, first is the spiritual connection. How deeply rooted are the festival in spirituality and religion? Just like Diwali is celebrated as the return of Lord Rama to Ayodhya and defeating Ravana. Uh, Same way, Eid ul Fitr, it marks the end of Ramadan, a period of fasting and prayer in Islam. Then Guru Nanak Jayanti also commemorates the teaching of Guru Nanak. Then comes preservation of cultural heritage. So, how festival also plays a crucial role in preserving and promoting Indian cultural heritage. We have Onam, which showcases the cultural richness of the state through its dance. We have Bihu, which highlights the agricultural lifestyle, and Pongal, which revolves around the harvest season, which is honoring farmers and nature. Then there is also social bonding and unity. How festival is fostering social cohesion and strengthening community ties as well. Then economic impact, festival also significantly boost economic activities, creating employment, is also promoting local industries and the whole demand of traditional attire, sweet, decoration, gifts, all that is stimulating what? It is stimulating the production of trade, right? It is surging the sales, the lot of lights, firecracker, Rakhi, and all that thing. And even now in the online culture, the online shopping, things, there's a Diwali sale or there's Dhanteras sale. So there's always a reason for us to buy some commodity because now the prices have slashed down and things are now available at a reasonable rate. Then environmental awareness as well. Many Indian festival emphasizes harmony and ecological sustainability as well. Like one Mahotsav, it promotes afforestation and environmental conservation as well. And Chat Puja involves worshipping the sun god and near water bodies, highlighting the importance of river and clean water. So if you look at the classification of festival, now we'll look into first the national festival, then we'll look into the regional festival, and lastly the religious festival. So national festivals, they hold immense significance as they symbolize the spirit of unity, patriotism, and collective pride among the citizens of the country. When we celebrate these national festivals together in all regions, in all languages, and which basically is also reflecting our shared values and cultural harmony, and that is basically defining our Indian ethos, right? Unlike regional or religious festival, national festivals, it commemorates events of historical and national importance that has always shaped our India's destiny and identity. So the three principal national festivals are Independence Day, 15th August, Republic Day, 26th January, and Gandhi Jayanti, 2nd October. So let's have a look one by one. Okay. Now let's start with Independence Day, which is celebrated on 15th August. And this whole it was led by the movement by famous leader Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, and Bhagat Singh. And on this historic day, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he made the most historic, iconic speech, which symbolized the dawn of a new era. And the whole essence of celebrating Independence Day, it reflects Indian ethos of freedom through self-realization and collective sacrifice, which emphasizes Swadeshi, that is self-reliance, Sarvodaya, that is welfare of people, and also Karma Yoga, that is that Indian belief in power of unity and righteous action, which is also described, all these qualities are described in the Bhagavad Gita. That means you have to act selflessly for the greater good of a nation. Republic Day, which is celebrated on 26 Jan every year. So this day commemorates the moment where India officially adopted its own constitution. So this date was chosen to honor the historic Purna Swaraj with declaration of 1930, when the Indian National Congress demanded complete independence from the British rule, right? So here also that the whole concept of justice, nyaya, equality, samatva, and respect for diversity, anekatavada, it reflects how India's knowledge system harmonizes spiritual ideals, rational thought, and promoting what you call as the common brotherhood, that is Vasudeva Kutumbakam. So the world as one family, as a guiding principle for democracy and global harmony. Then comes Gandhi Jayanti, which is celebrated on 2nd October every year to honor the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation. And you know his key principles, which are still we respect those principles and we are following it in our daily life. The principle of truth, that is Satya, non-violence, ahimsa, and his movement such as the non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience, Quit India movement, united millions and millions of Indians to fight against the British rule. So all these timeless principles we find that are applicable in the modern times, and his teaching drew from the Upanishad ideas of self-purification and inner strength, and his emphasis was always on simplicity, having compassion and peace, which resonates with the Indian knowledge system, focus on ethical living and his holistic development. So this was all about the national festival. Now let's have a look at the regional festival of India. How India's land of immense cultural diversity, it is celebrating hundreds of regional festivals that is mirroring the unique ethos and tradition and indigenous system of different communities, right? So regional festivals represent the integration of dharma, righteous duty, harmony with nature, community bonding, and respect for cultural plurality as well. So if you look at the role of regional festival in preserving Indian knowledge system, the first role is the agricultural knowledge, how the regional festival like Baisakhi, Pongal and Makar Sankranti are deeply rooted with the agricultural agrarian cycle, marking the beginning of a harvest season and the transition in the solar calendar. So all that you can say, these festivals, they are reflecting the ancient Indian knowledge of agriculture, seasonal cycle, astronomy, and guiding the community on timing of sowing and harvesting. So this is where we find that this is one of the basic main role of regional festival. Then ecological balance, just like the festival of Onam, Lohri in Punjab, Wangla in Meghalaya, they all are also honoring natural elements like river, rain, and soil fertility. So community is what? It is recognizing the ecological interdependence and sustainable living, and is also teaching respect for your environment and practice of conservation. Then social harmony and collective living. So Indian festival which foster simple living, Sahajivan, and Samanvaya, that is harmony. It is bringing people together across faith and the socio-economic divides as well. So we are sharing rituals, dances, and feast, and there's a social cohesion. There's an empathy and collective responsibility, which is also reflecting the inclusive ethos of our society. Then spiritual and ethical education, how the festival is also imparting seva, service, tyagya, that is sacrifice, and aha astiva, that is coexistent, ahimsa and non-violence. So through rituals, what are we doing? This, the community service, the shared celebration, people are learning selflessness, empathy, moral responsibility, and peaceful coexistent. So let's look at some of the classical, you can say the regional celebration of our the regional festivals that are being celebrated. We have Pongal, that is derived from a Tamil word Pongu, meaning to boil over, to overflow. So in Pongal festival, it is traditionally celebrated by decorating homes. So they also have marked by kolam, a colorful geometrical design made with rice, flour, and natural synthetic colors also, which are drawn on the ground to welcome prosperity. And they're different dishes, and they have typical their handicraft saris and jewelry which are worn in this particular festival. So it's a multi-day, you can say, harvest festival, and it dates back to Sangam age. And if you look at the rich Tamil literature and the cultural heritage, we find the records of it, the inscription of this celebration being done. And Pongal not only preserves the cultural heritage, but it is also instilling ethical values like seva, service, cooperation, and ahimsa, that is non-violence. Then Sankranti, which is one of the most ancient Hindu festival. Makara is the Capricorn. It's a zodiac sign which is symbolizing the end of winter and the beginning of a longer, warmer days. So all that is also present in the text of Rig Veda. If you go through it, the importance of solar movements and its influence on the agricultural cycle. So kite flying is one of the most vibrant and symbolic tradition of Makar Sankranti. So it is representing value of gratitude, balance, harmony, and nature. And here the festival is also reflecting a very important concept, that is karma yoga, that is performing one's duty like farming and sharing the harvest selflessly and with devotion. Then coming to Onam, which is also a grand festival of Kerala, this also traces, if you look at the origination, it traces back to the Sangam period, where the reference of Onam festival was done in the early Tamil literature, Madurai Kanji. And this festival reinforces social harmony and inclusivity. And there are many activities like boat race, tiger dance, folk performances, which embody the idea of unity in diversity and Sahajivan, that is simple, joyful living. Then Lohri is also celebrated in Punjab and Haryana and plays parts of North India and Himachal Pradesh, which marks again the end of winter and the beginning of the longer days. And here they are worshipping Agni, the fire god, and the sun, which is expressing what? The gratitude of energy, warmth, and good harvest. So you have a bonfire lightning, you have offerings like til, jaggery, good, and grains to the flames, which represent the age-old practice as well. So here farmers and families, they get together, they share food, music, dance around the bonfire. The Nag Panchami, this is another traditional Hindu festival which is dedicated to the worship of snakes, particularly cobras, right? Because the snakes are mysterious and powerful nature force. It's symbolic, it is a symbolic connection to, you can say, fertility, protection, and cosmic energy. So even in the Indian scriptures, we do find Vedas, Puranas, and Mahabharata. They were associated with snake were associated with God like Lord Shiva, who wears a serpent around his neck. Then we also find the king of servants, Vasuki, who played a very pivotal role in churning of the ocean. So the festival reflects ancient knowledge about ecology and the need to respect all creatures. So the festival is fostering community bonding through shared rituals, stories, and folk tradition, which is ultimately reflecting the Indian ethos of harmony and nature. So this was all about the regional festival. Now let's look at the religious festival of India. Now the religious festivals, they are of special occasion. They are celebrated because they are based on special beliefs, traditions, and rituals. So, of course, they will be involving a lot of prayers, ceremonies, fasting, feasting, music, dance, and other cultural activities. And they are reinforcing the spiritual values and strengthening the community bond. And through these festivals, the knowledge, the ethical framework, and the practical wisdom of Indian traditions are preserved and transmitted from one generation to a generation. Right? First is the Diwali. Now, Diwali is if you track down Diwali, it symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance, and good over evil. And it is the origination is traced down to ancient India, where it was observed not only as a religious festival but also celebration of social, moral, and cosmic order, which commemorates the return of Lord Rama to Ayodhya after 14 years of exile. So it is from the epic Ramayana, right? So it is associated with goddess Lakshmi also, the deity of wealth and prosperity. The people worship her on Diwali night to invite prosperity into homes. So in some region, Diwali marks the victory of Lord Krishna over the demon Narakasura, right? So, if you look at the core values of this particular festival, it is inner purification and self reflection, harmony with nature and society, spiritual and ethical wisdom, gratitude, and worship. Right? Now, coming to Holi, which is another very popular festival, religious festival, it is also linked with several mythological stories, the prominent legend of Prahlad and Holika, and it also basically commemorates the playful and loving, deeds of Lord Krishna with Radha and the gopis, emphasizing joy, devotion, and celebration of human relationship. And here also the core values are unity and social harmony. We are talking about Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, joy, renewal, and gratitude, moral, spiritual lessons, and also expression of creativity and vitality. So you see the vibrant colors played in the Holi, it is symbolizing vitality, joys, human joy, spirit, expression, and reflection, and reflecting the integration of aesthetic and ethics in the daily life. Now coming to Raksha Bandhan, which is also known as Rakhi, it's a festival celebrate the sacred bond between brothers and sisters. It's a symbol of duty, it's a symbol of protection and social responsibility. And of course, it's one of the most famous in the story of Queen Draupadi, who tried a thread to Lord Krishna, which highlights devotion, trust, and mutual care. So, other accounts suggest that sister they tie thread to brothers or warriors to seek their protection, which symbolizes morals and social obligations. So, if you look at the key values, this also denotes duty and protection, love and respect, ethical and moral lessons, and strengthening the social ties, right? And it's reinforcing loyalty, trust, and societal cohesion. Then Eid ul-Fitr, which is a religious festival, originated with the advent of Islam in the 7th century. So it might not be that much popular during the Vedic and or the pre-Islamic period, because it's only after the arrival of Islam in India in the 7th century and the establishment of Delhi Sultanate in the later Mughal Empire, Eid became an integral part of the cultural and spiritual life of Indian society. So this festival also emphasizes values like charity, empathy, social harmony, which resonates with India's broader cultural principle for caring for others and maintaining strong community bonds. So here, the values that are reflected are self-discipline, because after 1 month long fasting, it teaches us to control our desires, empathy for the less fortunate, and the inner purification, right? So it's like a spiritual reflection. Then also charity, zakat is also given out of compassion for poor people. Then community and social harmony, which is, bonding the families and community together, visiting friends, exchanging gifts, and so on. Gratitude and celebration of life, which signifies the gratitude for food, for health, and for blessing, which encourages a sense of contentment and interconnectedness with society. Then coming to Christmas, which is celebrated by Christians worldwide to mark the birth of Jesus Christ, who is revered as the symbol of love, compassion, and selfless service. In India, Christmas has also been celebrated for centuries, blending religious rituals with local cultural practices such as, decorating home, exchanging gifts, singing carols, and sharing festive meals, right? So if you look at this particular religious festival, it embodies some very unique universal values. Of course, unique in the sense that these values are unique to this particular festival, but common to all the different festivals that I just talked about. So first is love and compassion, caring, forgiving, kindness, which actually reflects ahimsa and seva. Then community and togetherness, how it fosters social harmony, inclusions, and the mutual respect along with it. Then generosity and sharing, that is gift giving and helping the needy, highlight charity and empathy as well. Then lastly is the spiritual reflection. So you see the festival, it encourages moral living and integrity. Now coming to the conclusion of this particular session. So India's festivals, you have seen, are very vibrant reflection of country's rich cultural, spiritual, and historical legacy. Now they don't only transcend just mere celebration, but it's a powerful expression of India's values like unity, diversity, dharma, harmony with nature, right? And then we looked into the patriotic fervor of national festivals like Independence Day, Republic Day, and Gandhi Jayanti, and the regional festivals like Pongal and Baisakhi and Onam and so on, right? So these festivals actually preserving what? Indigenous knowledge. They are promoting ethical thinking and they're fostering social cohesion across the community. So whether it's national, regional, or religion, each festival preserves tradition, it promotes ethical living, and it is strengthening community bond. And even as they adapt to modern times, just like we saw globalization and how technology is being integrated, but still we find that it has not um, altered our way of celebration. That essence is still intact. And because of the modern times, we are more careful that our celebration is more environmental friendly, eco-friendly, it is more of a sustainable nature, and also promoting global participation. So festival remains rooted in our heritage, reminding us to honor the past, cherish the present, and build a harmonious future. So if you look, all these festivals are indeed the living spirit of India, vibrant, inclusive, and they're timeless in nature. Okay, so this is the list of suggested reading. So you can have a detailed view regarding this particular topic, and this also helped me to make the slides. And I thank you for your patience listening, and I hope you have had a nice time. And I'll be seeing you again in the next session, in which I'll be talking about another very new topic of India's tradition, India's ethos and knowledge system. So till then, take care of yourself and have a nice day. Bye bye.